make sense out of nonsense. That's right, y'all. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. And I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Yeah. And it is a 4:47 on the nose. And I'm hoping everything is going according to plan on your part. And if you got a few minutes, lend me your ear. I got me a notification. How you like that, y'all? Sometimes YouTube pretends to be fair and balanced by sending out notifications. But we'll see just how fair and balanced they are, depending on how many of you all get the notification. See, right now I'm the only one inside of the chat. Hey there, lonely Kev. I'm lonely, y'all. Lonely Kev. Can I get one? Oh, wait. Oh, we're 2 or 3 are gathered. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Hey, Kevs. What's up? See? There you go. Now, YouTube probably got a cutoff when it comes down to sending out notifications. They're like, all right, only send out about 30 or 40, okay? There you go. Just making believe we're still doing stuff. Yeah, they're not doing nothing. Tell you, man, it's unbelievable how they're treating me. Unbelievable. But I ain't gonna complain because I ain't no cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Nah, I just get mad and get even. That's all I do. So, how's everybody Saturday? I hope it's going well. Let me know where you're checking in from. I always appreciate that. Let me know how everything is going on your part. If you haven't watched my standalone upload video about Trump being mean, please watch that. If you haven't subscribed to my alternative channel, please do that so we can stay connected. I want to grow that channel as well. And what else? Yeah, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it multiple ways: watching, liking, sharing, hitting that super chat, or you can donate to my channel through my Cash App, my PayPal link. All the links are below each video. So let's go. Might as well. Now it's a long time. Silverback. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some G's in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right, y'all. And don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here too. That number you see right there on the screen, 330-974-4607, is a number you can text MAGA to stay in contact with me just in case they disappear my butt on this internet. You never know what they might do with the internets, especially when you are exposing their shenanigans, their hypocrisy, all of the crap that they try to get away with. We can't let it happen. We don't want none of that mess. No nonsense goes unchecked. Yeah, man, you leave a little nonsense out there lingering, it'll come back bigger and better and bite you on the butt. So you got to sniff out all the nonsense and tell them what's up. Now, like I said, welcome this Saturday. We're going to get into some stuff, okay? Because there's another hoax floating out there, ladies and gents. And let's see if you can guess what this one's about. You saw the title of my live stream. Let me get everything set up so I can see what you guys are saying too. Yeah, you saw the title of my live stream. Another Trump health hoax. And see, that's what you do when Trump outwits them and then they fall for it. Like the other day when he said he was going to have this big announcement and they thought it was going to be about us going to war with Venezuela or something like that. And Trump comes out and he starts touting all of his accomplishments. He set them up and they mad because they fell for it. But they also have to try to compensate for Trump telling the public all of the wonderful things he's doing. We can't have their audience focusing on the good things that Trump is doing. No. What we got to do now, instead of focusing on everything that he was saying, is immediately attack it. This been debunked. These are lies. Trump lies 57,000 times. You can't trust what he just said. Not to mention, I'm concerned about his health. Now, do you think anything that the left talks about being concerned about is sincere? No. Do you think that the fake news is really concerned about Trump's health? You think the Democrats are really concerned about Trump's health? Or could it be that they really wish that something was wrong with his health so they could get him out of there? And see, that's that false concern. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about your health, and I'm going, no, you're not. Now, you really are trying to introduce the idea that my health is failing. That's what you're trying to do, to take away from what I'm saying to the people. You want people to say, we can't trust this guy because, look, he's in mental decline, while yet overlooking all the years of creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe's mental decline. So that's what they're now going with after they got duped into covering Trump's press conference. Of course, you know what the two responses are. Trump lied about everything he said. And we're concerned about his health. Let's see if they're really concerned about his health. So let's go ahead and get into it because there's another hoax, another Trump health hoax. So let's go and check it out, see what's happening.
Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
All the same.
Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds.
Yeah, now you think the fake news that went along with that scam wants the people to know that the Democrats were doing that? You think the fake news want you to hear that? Nah, man, nah. See, while we were sitting back saying that was a scam, they were saying that we're climate deniers and climate change is real and Trump and all of his people are just pushing propaganda and all of that stuff. Yeah, they were suppressing videos. They were attacking us because they said, we were, denying science. The same people who denies the fact that boys are boys and girls are girls. We're saying we were denying some obvious things like boys being boys and boys being girls. Well, the weather changing every year. Winter comes, summer, spring, fall. But yet they wanted us to say that, for some reason, it looks like we skipped winter and spring. We just got summer and fall now, I guess, and we weren't willing to buy that, especially as a Christian. You don't have to worry about climate change being the end of the world. No, that's not going to end us. It's going to be God. That's all in God's hands. It's all in his hands. You know the song, you know what I'm saying? He got the whole world in his hands. At Bible class when I was little, going to, little kid, you're going to summer Bible school and go there and they make us sing that. He got the whole wide world in his hands. So we ain't got to worry about humanity or climate change destroying this planet. When God gets done with Earth, he'll handle that. But they wanted us to buy into it so they can push their woke agenda, so they could force us into redesigning our whole cribs, force us into, high regulations and the gas prices and stuff that they're paying out there in California right now. Yeah, it's because they're so woke with the climate change stuff. So anyway, Trump comes out and he's exposing that. And of course, they're going to attack him for all of this.
As their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of
now that's a lot. That's enough to put a dent in your pocket. $5,000 could buy me a lot right about now. Okay, but I guess they wanted that to go to the climate while they jumped on their nice jumbo jets and flew all over the place. That's right. Yeah, climate change for you, but not for me. You understand that? I'm important. All right. I need all the stuff that I say you guys shouldn't have. I got police protection. You know what I'm saying? With guns. But you guys, y'all don't need that type of protection. There's no crime. It's down. And definitely, you don't need guns, okay? I got all of that. I don't even have to get the shot because I'm in Congress. We have the choice. But you guys better get the shot. I don't have to wear my mask, but you guys better put that mask on your faces. You understand that? You understand that? All of the rules for thee, but not for me, including this whole climate change scam. So let's continue because Trump right now done caught him off guard, y'all. They like, shoot, it doesn't seem like he's going to talk about going to war with Venezuela so we can make that the hot topic of the week. Trump claimed he wasn't going to get us into any more quagmires, any more wars. And look at him. He's declaring war. Yeah, they wanted that. See, they came looking for trouble and they got it, but not the kind they wanted.
that $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country.
In much of the country. Now, are y'all hearing the same thing I'm hearing? We just heard him say, in much of the country, under $2, right? You just heard that. Just making sure. The mic is on, right? Check. Check one. Okay, y'all heard that? Okay, let's see what CNN heard.
In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record.
5 minutes later.
Caitlin was a fact check it, half asleep kind of presidential speech. So many of these claims have been debunked so many times.
Now you see? And you wonder why they're called fake news. I mean, they don't even watch Trump and his speeches to actually learn or find out what's going on with the economy or with whatever. They don't even watch it for that. Their whole intent is to watch it so they can come out and just trash it, try to debunk it. They don't want good news being spreaded. Trump could say gas prices, it could be an absolute fact. Gas prices are 25 cents a gallon around the country. You can go right now to any gas station and check it. That was actually false. Trump is, so we already know their intentions. We can't trust their intentions because they have a built-in bias. Not even a bias, a hatred for Trump. We know Fox got a bias. We know conservative networks have biases. But our biases don't lead us into completely making up stuff. I mean, if you see something and you go, I can't deny that, I'm looking at it. But because I like Trump, I'm going to say it's not true. We don't do that. Whatever we see, we have to report on and be honest about it. But these folks, they make it their mission to go ahead and try to trash it. So he said, that's absolutely not true. Well, let's see what he says is not true.
For example, he spoke of some states hitting $1.99 for gas. The lowest state average today is closer to $2.40. About 100 stations out of about 150,000 stations are below $2, according to the firm Gas Buddy.
So, did he say all of them? See, this is my point. So he goes and cherry picks, for example, that there's two. Now, they never scrutinized Biden with any of this stuff. But here this guy is, he's talking about some, look.
What? Wait a minute.
Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country.
In much of the country.
In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99.
In some states. Now,
a gallon.
He spoke of some states hitting $1.99 for gas. The lowest state average today is closer to $2.40.
He didn't mention the average? What is he talking about? He's not addressing what Trump actually is saying. He's just saying out there what, according to some states, as the average
about 100 stations out of about 150,000 stations are below $2, according to the firm Gas Buddy.
But you can't celebrate that, though, right? You want to make sure that you might as well just say there's no station out there under $2. He didn't say half. He didn't say. He said in some states, some stations are under $2 or whatever. This guy just basically repeated what Trump said and said it wasn't true. He confirmed it. It's like Rick James skit on Dave Chappelle, where Rick James was like, man, nah, I didn't go over there and put my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch. Why would I do something like that? Yeah, I remember going over to Eddie Murphy's house and put my feet on his couch because he could buy another one. You just got done saying something and then went ahead and blew your whole statement up. Or for instance, in some states I'm going to see, this is where your bias is blindsiding you. People are going, wait, what did you just say? That's exactly what Trump was just saying. But you just said he was lying. Because you got to go ahead and try to find the negative in everything. You got to say, well, actually, not every state is under $2.50. $2.50. The average is actually, and I'm going, see, you're working hard to be negative. You're working hard to discredit him. That's why everything that comes out of the fake news mouth, I know already. It comes out with a bias in an attempt to try to make Trump look bad. They don't have good intentions at all. But we're going to see towards the end of tonight's live stream, there's some things that they're not able to deny.
In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon.
It's time to build back better.
I know that voice. I know that. That's the voice of creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe.
The White House says President Biden is fine tonight, hours after he tripped and fell during a graduation ceremony at the Air Force Academy. The president landed, as you'll see, on his right side there before being helped up pretty quickly. The White House says President Biden tripped on a sandbag as he was making his way back to his seat. The president then poked fun at himself as he returned to the White House.
Let's see.
So I think the optics were bad. I don't think it means anything in terms of the president's physical capacity or his.
What? You see this? This is Dick Cheney's prior propagandist. Oh, I'm sorry, physician. Yeah. So now he comes on here to try to ease the Americans' concerns about Creepy's health. That spill that we just saw. He's coming on here trying to say, there's nothing to see there. Everybody trips over sandbags and completely falls. That's what he's there for. Now, what's sad? When you have a position in society that is supposed to be based on facts and, integrity, like a doctor. A doctor, you should be mixing politics. I don't want no politics when I'm getting a knee replacement. See, yeah, these are things that I'm like, leave your politics at home. If I happen to be brought in with a Make America Great Again shirt on, and then I get a propagandist, some activists out there talking about, well, this guy needs a blood transfusion, but just so happened we're out of your blood type. But doctor, we have a ton of A negative. That's it, we're out of his blood type. Okay? We need that for other people like the conservatives that I like, not these MAGA folks. Let them all go. So I don't need this type of stuff in medicine. But here this guy is. He's telling us, y'all, this is nothing to see. Creepy, sleepy, tripping over his own feet.
His overall condition right now.
I fell in the hallway because I was wearing high heels and walking too fast.
Now look how gleeful and kind of light-spirited they're talking about Joe's little boo-boo was. Even I fell. Yeah, I want to make connect. I want to show y'all that this is nothing unique and isolated to Joe. It has nothing to do with him being old and walking. And every time we see him walking, he can't lift his feet up. He shuffles across the lawn at the White House. It looks like he got those wooden legs with real feet all the time. And I'm going, that dude looks like he's barely able to pick his feet up. But here she is. I fell. And now you think if Trump would have fell, she would have been that light-spirited and smiling while she's talking about it as she reminisces her own clumsiness. I mean, come on, everybody does it. I fell. Or would it be like, the president is obviously, handicapped. Yeah, the president is suffering from most likely rickets and joint I'm going, okay. So now here she is. I fell.
Recently, well, it was actually about 3 years ago now, come to think of it. And it's so startling as an adult when you fall. It just it knocks the wind out of you. And it's so, you can't believe that you just fell. And he got up a lot faster than I did.
Oh, God. If you can't obviously tell, this is let us go out and run interference for Joe Biden. I mean, as an adult, it's so shocking when you fall. He got it way faster than I did. You're trying to lower the suspicion from folks to go, wait a minute, is that common for a president to be that weak and feeble and to just trip and fall like that? Right now, if I fell, I would bounce right back up unless I'm seriously hurt. Joe had to be helped up by multiple people. But here she is. He got it way faster. No, he didn't get up way faster than you did. They helped him up. But now you're trying to help clean him up. See, that's what she's doing. She's trying to help clean him up.
Are you encouraged that you saw him back at the White House looking pretty spry?
Basically, tell everybody, don't worry, nothing to see here. He's back in the White House. He's doing great. You hear this chick tossing that pass? Are you encouraged, to see him back in the White House so spry? Now, I'm starting to build a case here of bias. I'm starting to show you guys a contrast between how they covered Creepy Sleepy's illnesses and how they're about to make up some illnesses on Trump. As this fake doctor sits here and says this.
Yeah. Like otherwise, the president, appears to be in pretty good physical condition. I'll note that even more startling this week, Bruce Springsteen took a fall on stage.
Yeah, let's go ahead and drag everybody who fell and stumbled into this conversation to justify why Creepy Sleepy fell. You see this, doctor? I mean, Bruce Springsteen took a fall. My neighbor, and then there was this one time when I was 7, I fell. And then, babies fall constantly, when they're trying to walk. And we don't judge them. Yeah, they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. Yeah. I don't see what the big problem is. as this fake doctor get up here and try to tell us, don't worry, there's nothing suspicious there.
And
Look how he
he
walks.
was on his back for quite a bit longer than the president today.
That is excellent context.
Oh my God! Man, they make their prostitution money. Boy! She almost couldn't even say it. Because she knows this is pure short. We got us a troll. And let's go ahead and attack the trolls. But anyway, you see her, she's sitting there like, that is, I'm going, are you kidding me? Would you really be concerned about Trump if he fell like that? You think she would be?
That is excellent context.
Yeah, that's excellent context. Well, let's go ahead and see how they're trying to cover Trump, who didn't fall.
In our politics lead, it's only Thursday, and already it's been a week full of behaviors from President Trump that are unusual, even by his particular standards.
See, here we go. Y'all see fake? Y'all see fake crapper? Immediately coming in. And they wonder why their ratings are so low. It's already bad by Trump standards. And I'm going, that's why we don't trust you guys. So now, we already know fake crappers been assigned to do a hit piece on Trump because they got to go ahead and shift the attention from Trump tricking them to coming in and covering his speech to now let's go ahead and just say you can't listen to Trump because he's always doing stuff, he's lying, and he's in mental decline.
It's the latest example of which is President Trump's primetime address to the nation last night. Such presidential addresses usually carry some weight. One might expect to hear some big news, an announcement of some sort. Instead, the nation heard Trump just rattle on about his accomplishments like he does on any given day, although he just did so faster and louder.
I guess that's nothing. We're not allowed to hear his accomplishments. Oh, what about this? This is a good address to the public.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy.
What that got to do with the economy and the good announcements and stuff like that? Y'all remember this one? CNN didn't have much to say about this. Look at that ominous background. Look at him up there looking like he's a straight up dictator.
And MAGA Republicans are destroying American democracy. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans.
MAGA Republicans. Now, is that something that the public need to hear? Is that not the most divisive speech you've ever heard a president make? And here he is talking about normally a president would and that man came out there and demonized half of the country. Half of the country and said we were a threat to democracy, and Crapper didn't say nothing about it. But yet Trump comes out and says, yeah, last administration stunk it up, and here are the things we're doing to clean it up. But normally a president will come out and say things that are relative to they are, and yet they wanted us to think this was relative to America?
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards.
Really?
Much of the content was simply false. Misstatements that have been fact-checked so often, he must know by now that they're just lies.
Well, you do realize how rich this is coming out of fake crapper who covered up Joe's illnesses forever, said that man had a stuttering problem. That's what it was. It was just a stuttering problem. That same guy. And then try to capitalize off of something we all knew way before fake crapper knew it, I guess, that he was in mental decline. Yeah, tried to capitalize off of it. But now he comes out and just immediately says everything was lies. Now, this goes to show where we are when it comes down to our media. And I'm so glad, in a sense, that Trump came along and revealed just his presence has revealed to us just what we're dealing with. The psychops that go on through our media, through our politicians and stuff. Now we're aware of it, and CNN at this point ain't trying to clean it up. They ain't trying to hide it. They're just hanging on to the dummies who still don't realize that that's what they're about. But it's so refreshing to be able to say, wow, I'm glad I'm not living in a false reality where I'm just complacent, walking around assuming that everybody's doing the right thing. Yeah, assuming that the news, why would they get on and just purposely lie to the public? Why would they go ahead and say, we're going to do, regardless of Trump saying things that are true or not, we're going to get on here and just say everything mostly he lied about. Now, years ago, before they hated Trump so much, you would have never seen them get on TV and start off every segment talking about the president lied about almost everything he said tonight. They never covered any other presidents like that. We didn't see hit pieces on any, even when you didn't like Obama. It wasn't constantly, the Obama lied about everything today. I mean, when they got bin Laden, they didn't come on like, Obama, you know what, he shouldn't have killed bin Laden. I mean, did he really have to kill him? I mean, they could have just went ahead and captured him, brought him back. Look, I mean, did he assign him to kill him? Let's do an investigation. I think that was murder. They never sat back and said, let's go after the presidents in such a vicious but yet obvious. And see, that's what makes this amazing, because see, it's so obvious to us what they're about and what they're doing. And I'm going, everybody else don't see that? You don't see fake crapper just started off, I mean, his whole job, like, oh shoot, we just got tricked by Trump covering his whole speech about the economy and all this stuff. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to actually talk about the pros and the cons of what's going on in the economy, what Trump said, and the substance of what he's talking about. No, let's come out immediately, disarm, his whole speech by saying most of it was already lies. Just straight up, right off grip. Most of it was already lies, and he just comes out lying. And I'm going, so you're not going to play the whole speech for the people? You're not going to address all the things that you think he said were lies? No, you're just going to say most of it was already lies. But your dumb people who watch the show is going to assume that because y'all been telling them for years. Everything Trump says is lies. While overlooking creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe coming out every time. I used to drive a choo-choo train, and I used to be a truck driver, a semi, and I lived amongst the Puerto Ricans, and then I was raised by the Aborigines, and Uncle Finnegan got eaten by a crocodile, and all of that stupidity Joe drops out there, and they never came out talking about everything that Joe Biden says are lies. Every blue moon, they would cover a couple that they couldn't get away with. But the majority, they just let go. And now here he is. Everything Trump said, most of it was lies.
When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans.
Now here goes Jake. Here goes fake, and I'm going to have to bring in someone who go ahead and debunk that. Don't run, walk.
So inflation was not the highest in the history of our country when President Trump took over in January 2025. It is true that in 2022, under President Biden, inflation peaked at 9.1%, and that was very high, but it was not the highest ever in the history of our country, and that was 2022.
But actually, Jake, President Trump wasn't saying that the inflation rate in January when he took office was the highest in 48 years. What he was referring to was cumulative inflation. In the 4 years of the Biden administration, inflation rose 21.4%. Trump is comparing the inflation under Biden with the inflation that occurred under the Carter administration, which began, wait for it, 48 years ago. And Jake Tapper knows this. God forbid to anyone at CNN, just be fucking honest.
Exactly. We know that is impossible for them to do. See, yeah, fake, just like the other guy talking about the gas prices and stuff. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to screw with Trump's statement and try to make it appear to mean something else. And he's talking about it and it's actually this or that. And they're trying to cherry pick and all of that. And I'm going to see. It's obvious that you're trying to discredit him. That's your whole mission. Yeah, you are a prosecutor, basically. And you're cross-examining. You're not coming in going, well, let's see what he said and see if it actually has merit. Maybe the people need to hear this. No, you're coming in going, my job is to go in and find all the negative things that I can find to go ahead and try to undermine him. Try to make people go, man, see, Trump's economy sucks and all of this stuff. He knows that. All the folks in CNN know that, but they lie. They know about crime statistics. They know about these are not American citizens that's being deported. They know about all of that. Their whole job is to come out and lie to your face, just like fake rappers doing, but the lies don't stop. Y'all ready? Here comes a whopper. Hold on to your seats.
So, but I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9%.
You mean all those fake jobs or those ones to the illegal immigrants? Or the padded jobs that y'all got the job report comes out. Yeah, they were like 90% off. Oops, our bad.
When I came to office, 9%. But look.
You can watch our full exclusive interview with President.
Oh, well, y'all remember him coming out saying it was 9% when he got in? Y'all remember that? Well, let's see how they covered Joe after he got done saying that, because fake crapper had a chance to rip right into Joe for all of his lies about the inflation. Let's see what he did.
Biden on Aaron Burnett Out Front. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, only here on CNN. Let's discuss this. CNN's John King is with us, also Megan Hayes, the former White House Director of Messaging and Planning.
Yeah, let's discuss it. I'm sure you're coming out the gate on that lie about what I got inherited. Inflation was 9%. I'm sure fake. You're coming out the gate talking about that. For example, Joe Biden said inflation was 9%. That was a whopper of a lie. But let's see what he does.
Under President Biden. John, let me start with you. Your reaction to President Biden's economic pitch there.
He's right on the numbers about the economic turnaround.
He needs to continue to draw the contrast with President Trump.
So the statistics back up the president's argument that the economy is much better and is growing and is strong, the strongest in the world. He is correct.
This week,
look at them. Look at them trying to go ahead and support those lies that came out of Creepy Sleepy. I didn't hear Fake Crapper interrupt him. Yep. I didn't hear Fake Crapper say, "Now, wait a minute. Let's go back to the fact that this dude just said he inherited 9% inflation." But now Fake Crapper is mad because President Trump done went ahead and changed up some wording in the White House about some of those presidents that sucked.
He also took the unusual step of installing plaques along the wall of the White House, the People's House.
The People's House. You hear him? The People's House. So he installed plaques. What'd they say? Wait a minute. Somebody's missing in between 40. Okay. 44. We got 43. That's Trump. There's something in between. 44 looks like a pin of some sort. Then we got 45.
Inscriptions on the plaques that insult his predecessors. President Joe Biden, he said, quote, Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history.
What? I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what the problem is. Nancy Pelosi thought he should be on Mount Rushmore. Y'all remember that? I think he's a Mount Rushmore type president that we made drop out the race. Yeah, that guy. The guy that they made him drop out the race. You should be on Mount Rushmore. The same guy that you just wrote a book about who was unfit and you missed it. You missed all that unfitness. That's what you missed. But now here you are talking about, he put on here, he was the worst president ever. He exactly was. He was. So I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, he was absent just like I'm looking at. That he shouldn't even be up there. That's what was doing all the heavy lifting. That ink pen, that auto pen.
And the plaque of President Obama declares Obama one of the most divisive political figures in American history.
Well, I mean, he did start off his presidency with an apology tour to every country. We're sorry for being a white supremacist country we are, I guess, right? Yeah, we saw that guy and what he brought in. So Fake Crapper, I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, when the next president comes in, change it. But right now, he's the man in charge. So let's continue. Here we go.
Behavior is not normal. Not in a mayor, not in a governor, not in your boss.
Has it ever been? Has Trump's behavior ever been normal? Y'all act like this is new. See, and it's the thing. They think that Americans got short-term memories, or at least their people do. They do. They got puppy brains. Their supporters have the puppy brains. You know, puppies don't remember nothing that you told them 2 seconds ago. Sit. Okay. Here I come. I didn't say come. I said sit. What? Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Now, wait. I'm on my way. Go back over. Sit. Now, look. Yeah. Everything they see. Let me go over here. You're like, no. Stay. No, wait. But there's something blowing in the wind. Step. Puppy brains. Their voters have it. Think about it. They sat up there talking about Trump was a Russian agent. Soon as that was debunked, they come out, try to impeach him for something else, and then people just forget that we just were lied to for like 3 years about Trump being a Russian agent. Now they're telling us something new, and we're going to believe that too. Yeah, all of the stuff they tell us, we'll just go from one debunked lie to the next one. Yeah, we don't even stop for a second to say, can we get a breath between lies and between conspiracies and between all of these investigate? Can we get a breath? Can we stop for 1 second and question, wait a minute, this is a lot of investigations, a lot of accusations. Could it be that this is all political? No, they don't even stop to consider that. They don't stop to consider, are we in the midst of being used like pawns and useful idiots? I mean, they don't stop to say, shouldn't I be insulted that they lied to me and come to find out Hillary Clinton actually put that thing together? No, they don't worry about that mess. If they don't stop to say, wait a minute, just a minute ago they was telling us to love Joe Biden. Now they're replacing him and we didn't even bat an eye that we didn't get to vote nobody else in. We didn't even bat it. Just a minute ago we was talking about we need Joe in. And then they just came out and said, we don't need Joe. We got Kamala now. Okay. We got Kamala now. Let's shift all of our attention and support to her. They don't even stop for a second to go, wait a minute. They're using us. They're using us. So I say, okay. But for us who got common sense, we're going, yeah, okay. So now here you are trying to convince us. Trump's behavior is unusual. Yes, it is. And that's why I love it. I love it. You'll never get another Trump. When he pulled up in that garbage truck, talking about, how do you like my garbage truck? Boy, that was the bomb. When he was in that McDonald's window, talking about some Kamala Harris said she worked on fries. I've worked longer than, I loved it. Trump's style is totally different. But here he is. So unusual. Like this is a shock to us.
Not in your mom or your dad or your friend. Never before in the history of our country have we had a president who acted this way.
Yeah. Who actually came into office, challenged the fake news, exposed the fake news, and actually is attempting to do every single thing he said he was going to do. Who actually loved the country. Who actually is saying, yo, we're not going to let you guys be taken advantage of. Who actually comes in and says, where's all of this spending going to? I'm going to run this bad boy like a business. Okay, not like a personal piggy bank for politicians. Yeah, a president who says, look, we're going to be strong, but we're going to be fair. You know how we're going to stay out of long wars? By making sure we set an example with these isolated incidents that are quick, powerful, and we get out and let people know, see, this what could happen to you. This what could happen to you. Now, if we ever have to go to war with you, and we ain't going to be in there forever. We're not going to be nursing the war alone. We're going to go in there and blam, get rid of everything that's causing the war, and then we're out of here. See? Yeah, we're not going to be stuck in some country for about 5 years. And that keeps us out of that mess. It makes me sleep good at night, knowing that our president, if he had to do something, it is not with the intent of us getting drug into something and losing a whole bunch of Americans' lives. It is hit, punch, beat them up quick and get out of there. Stuff like that. Yeah, knowing that we got a president who's saying, man, y'all S-hole ran Democrat cities suck, filled with crime, filled with illegal immigrants, and I'm going to do everything I can to come in there and clean that mess up. I like that type of president, but here he is. So I thought we never had a president like this. Exactly.
The president has been flouting the hallmarks of basic decency, and while there have been a few of his supporters and a few members of his party and some in the conservative media willing to call him out on some of this, for the most part, let's be honest, it's been crickets.
Yeah, for the most part, let's be honest, it's been crickets. Basic decency. You mean like calling him a Russian agent, calling him a white supremacist, a racist, calling him Hitler, Mussolini, labeling all of us as Nazis and stuff like that. Basic decency. Yeah. I know your basic decency, fake rapper. The pipe bomber is a 30-year-old white man. Was it fake? I think that was pretty fake, crapper. But here he is now. He's going to bring in that quack. Remember that quack we just saw a minute ago? Telling us there was nothing to see about creepy, sleepy falling over. Lawn the bridges, lawn the creepy falling down. So now, here comes that quack again.
Jonathan Reiner, who served as the late Vice President Dick Cheney's cardiologist for years, was among the many observers alarmed by what he saw from President Trump last night, his behavior. He posted
He was alarmed. He was alarmed. Now, they're going to their go-to fake doctors. They know who to bring on. They know who to bring on. So here's this doctor. He was alarmed about what he saw from, I'm going, are you kidding me? President Trump got up there and gave a wonderful speech, sound just like he always sounds. And then you bring in a quack. Now, see, this is the thing that makes them try to legitimize these hit pieces. They bring in some fake activist doctor or something like that to try to justify why we're really just concerned about Trump's mental decline. Now, if they were really concerned, it would not be backed up with all of this animus and this hatred. See, if you're really having compassion on somebody because they're mentally declining, it wouldn't be backed up by, and he lies like this all the time. Well, if he's in mental decline, that should excuse his lies, right? You shouldn't be so mad about his lies, right? Right, fake? Yeah. If he was when Joe Biden would lie, he's been lying for years. But at the same time, we also knew a lot of his behavior was because of his mental decline, and it was very obvious. And fake rapper, I guess, just missed all of that. But here this guy's trying to say Trump is in mental decline. And yet at the same time, he lies and this and that. Well, what is it? Is he in his right mind or is he in mental decline? One of the two. And if he's in mental decline to the point where all of those other negative things you just said about him, then you shouldn't be even bringing those things up. You should be going, this is sad. You know, Trump doesn't even remember what he said about the economy. Trump, he's forgetting this, Trump forgetting that. No, but you're acting like Trump is in, he's in his right mental state when he's saying these things. He knows exactly what he's saying, what he's doing. He's just being mean. He has no compassion. He has this and this and that, but he's also in mental decline. So let's go ahead and hear what the quack got to say.
Next quote, I'm seriously concerned about the health of the president, and adding, no one should be happy to see the president like this. He looks unwell.
Wow.
Dr. Reiner joins us now. He's a professor of medicine and surgery at George Washington University and a CNN medical analyst. Dr. Reiner, what specifically was it about President Trump that you found so concerning watching him last night, especially in the context of, he gives outrageous speeches and has been for...
Outrageous speeches and has been. Boy, I tell you, fake news, CNN. So now, he's already letting everybody know how he feels about Trump. He's already dropping in the, assumption that Trump always been giving crazy speeches, all his speeches, right? Outrageous speeches and stuff like that. But what is it about this one that concerned you, Mr. Activist Doctor? That's what I want to know. Here's your chance to come on and change the attention from all the things that Trump said is going on in the country and what we're doing to saying, well, we really can't trust what Trump was saying because this doctor here said something's going on with Trump. How can I really now believe that Trump is talking about how good the economy is starting to, trend towards? How can I believe anything? Because this doctor, who's legitimately a doctor, look at him, obviously. He's sitting there with his coat on. He's no more of a doctor than I am at this point. So watch this so-called doctor who's simply just concerned. Listen to why he say he's concerned about Trump.
Years.
Well, it wasn't the content. I thought the content was just standard fare that we've become accustomed to. But it was the way it was delivered. It was delivered in...
Just like Trump always delivers? It was the way it delivered. Do you see this mess? Good grief. They can only get away with this. With bootleg Democrat voters. I'm saying, are you getting the way it was delivered? What was different about the way he delivered it than he always does? You're just saying stuff that you're hoping people will start to look into it and see it the way you just said it. That people might have watched it the first time and go, okay, sounds like Trump. Then this guy comes on and said, then you start going, maybe he is. And I'm going, So he's trying to change the way you interpret what Trump is saying and say, no, that's not the normal Trump. Something's going on with this.
With a manic cadence, almost a frantic cadence. It was as if you felt like you were listening to a podcast on 2X.
What does that have to do with it? What is he talking about? Trump was reading a teleprompter. It's the way he delivered it. You are reaching for straws. When this is your angle, we can't beat him. We can't really, challenge the stuff he was saying. He said a lot of good stuff. So now we're just going to come out and say he's crazy. That's not what he was saying. It's how he said it. It's how he said it. His cadence was off. It sounded like he was reading he was at a podcast or something. I don't know. Now, they're not talking about just the same doctor that said Creepy Sleepy was fine. See, you see the hypocrisy. You see this man. He's a full-blown doctor activist.
And that kind of manic delivery was very, very disturbing.
Let's see.
People are sick.
They are, Trump.
They're sick. They're bad people.
But there've been a lot of health issues. He has the chronic bruise. He had swollen ankles. He's had these mysterious scans. We mentioned the daytime somnolence, and then last night's speech.
Y'all hear that? All of this stuff. This is a fake doctor right here. So they bring the doctor on for the hit piece, talk about all these issues that Trump has released, all the information to show nothing to see here. Nothing wrong. I'm good. But now you bring that up. He has had all these health issues. He had the swelling of the ankles and this and that. And they all said everything was fine. His scans were fine. Why are you bringing this up? You are supposed to be a doctor. You already know. The diagnosis of all those things were already debunked. They already gave Trump all of these exams, mental exams, all of that. He's fine. But yeah, here you are. You should be ashamed. This guy right here. I'm like, should he have a practicing license? You're using your license as a doctor for propaganda. Yeah, you're lending yourself to the left-wing prostitution, so you could come out here and say, even though all of those things would technically have nothing to do with how he spoke, I'm just going to throw those in for good measure. I mean, he's had all these other health issues. I mean, he's had some exams and stuff. I think that might contribute to my lie. That would make people speak, very, his ankles were swollen. That could have led to him speaking very choppy, and none of those things would even contribute to what he's trying to say. But let's continue, because this is another health hoax.
So I think all of this raises realistic concerns about the health of the president.
Oh, I like that right there. That's not concerning.
And it's so startling as an adult when you fall. It just it knocks the wind out of you, and it's you can't believe that you just fell. And he got up a lot faster than I did. Are you encouraged that you saw him back at the White House looking pretty
Same
spry?
doctor.
Yeah. Look, otherwise the president, appears to be in pretty good physical condition.
And it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault.
But there've been a lot of health issues. He has the chronic bruise. He had swollen ankles. He's had these mysterious scans. We mentioned the daytime somnolence, and then
is this the same doctor? He might as well be Dr. Doolittle. He might as well be Dr. Detroit. He might as well be Dr. J. Good grief. I mean, you know what, Dr. Cuckoo? This guy just straight up. You see the contrast, the difference? I mean, look, he had a lot of health issues. I mean, he had the swelling of the ankles and the scans and stuff. Joe Biden, though, I mean, he's fine. He's perfect. Look, all adults fall. I mean, come on. I'm surprised he didn't come out singing. We fall down, but we get up. Joe falls down, but he get up. 'Cause Joe is just a creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe who just fell down. Unbelievable. And got up.
Speech. So I think all of this is considered, realistic concerns about the health of the president.
But Joe,
Please, God, let me just sniff his hat. Let me just sniff his hat. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Creepy.
Now I want more. Now I want more. Now I want more.
Yeah, that's creepy. None was suspicious about that behavior, right? Yeah, that's when I knew Joe Biden was blew out. Yeah, before he even ran, and he said he was running, and I put together that montage of all of those clips of this dude not even being self-aware. You know you got an addiction. You know you got a real serious problem. When you know you're in a public light, but your private issue, you can't even hide it for a few moments on TV. You sitting there like, I know I got a little thing for, pretty young things. And I'm talking real young. I ain't talking about no 19, 20. No, I like them in 9, 10 age, stuff like that. And I know I'm all on camera. But I'm not even self-aware enough to know that, hey, wait a minute, how does this look outside of what I'm focused on? In my head, I'm so focused on sniffing and kissing all over these kids, I'm not even aware of how this could be perceived. That's how bad off Joe was. But yet, nobody said nothing. They let that slime ball slide through somehow.
Well, it wasn't the content. I thought the content was just standard fare.
Oh, really?
That we've become accustomed to. But it was the way it was delivered. It was delivered in with a manic cadence. Almost a frantic cadence.
We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again.
Wow. What is he seeing that I don't see? You see that? Oh, he's not. He's seeing exactly what we see. He's just straight up lying. That's what he's doing. And it's amazing to me because I'm saying, this is where y'all go to. I mean, you got so many things they're always throwing out every day. They recycle. They recycle all of these things week to week to week. 1 week it's his health. The next week, he's this and that. Then, I mean, it's just constant bombardment and recycling of things to try to muddy Trump up, make him look negative, make him look bad. And I'm going, good grief, man. And these are things that all you got to do is pay attention. I mean, I'm sitting there going, dude, you're trying to convince me of something that I'm listening to, and I'm going, I don't see it. This never works on us. This cannot even work on us. It wouldn't even work on folks that's in the middle watching Trump in this speech. You just introduced something that I'm going, it wasn't even close. This ain't even something that I could even entertain, perhaps. This is a full-blown, made-up diagnosis, I guess, from this so-called doctor. And I'm going, I can see if Trump was like forgetting what he was saying, trailing off. speaking slower or different than he normally does. He speaks exactly like he always speaks. But this guy, for this speech, since they had nothing else to try to throw mud on Trump over this speech, then they're going to go with he's in mental decline. Another health hoax.
Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong.
Yeah.
America is respected. And our country is back, stronger than ever before.
Now, does that sound like a, weird cadence or anything? No. If I close my eyes, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Trump speaking here or any of his other speeches. But that doctor, that fake quack, that whack quack, got the nerve to come out and say, Judge's cadence is off. He's sound like he's rushed. He's very, and I'm going, wow, y'all are willing to stoop to any level to try to undermine what Trump is saying and doing. It's fascinating to watch, man. One day when that network collapses, they're going to be studied. If we ever reset and come back to normality, now we're going to be looking back at this point in history and say, man, our press sucked. And the crazy part is many Americans were under a delusion. They had no idea that they sucked. Interesting.
It was as if you felt like you were listening to a podcast on 2X. And that kind of manic delivery was very, very disturbing, very pressurized.
Very disturbing. I got a good mind to move to wherever this doctor is, set an appointment just to go in and call this guy a fake quack doctor. Do all of that. Kev, you spent $15,000 relocating up there to Washington. You bought an apartment. You went ahead, found a job to sustain yourself, and set an appointment with this doctor. Just call him a fake doctor to his face? Yes. Is that normal? No, I already knew it was crazy, but I had to do that. It was my mission. After watching this quack get up here and lie on the president like this. Unbelievable.
Speech. And as the address went on, the cadence of his remarks became quicker. And we've never seen the president, like that. He seemed almost frantic, and it was disturbing to watch.
Like now, see the sad part. You, as a doctor, you're supposed to be truly, sincerely concerned about a patient if something's going on with them. This is all false. We already know he's on a propaganda network. We know he's not really concerned about Trump. He acts like I'm just concerned. What's concerning? He knows that his whole goal is to abuse his position, his position of authority, to try to make people see something that's not there and pretend that he's just concerned. This is the worst type of abuse of power. It breaks down the respect for certain positions in society that you would say, now, why would this doctor get up there and create this fake narrative, this lie, and then pretend that as a doctor, I'm seeing stuff that just simply concerns me. And I'm not simply being used to try to create a concern in the minds of the people that isn't real. That guy, he needs mud thrown on him. Next time we see him in that little white jacket, it should be covered in doo-doo. That's what should happen. See, but let's go back in time for a quick second.
He does seem to struggle to get up when it first happens, then appears to recover. You do see there is a sandbag right there in his path. That's pretty obvious. Yeah. What's your reaction when you see the whole video?
Well, falls are really common, and they're falls are common. Especially common in the elderly. It's
that common? About once, twice, 3 times a stumbling. Is it that common? Yeah, maybe that doctor needs to be looking at these clips. The falls are common. So let's see, that was one.
Out of every 4 people over the age of 65.
Three in one setting. How many of you guys have fallen 3 times in a row? As an adult, when I saw that, I'm like, that man's done. Stick a fork in him. He's blew out. If I fall 3 times in a row, I know I got a condition. I'm sitting there like, something's wrong. I got up, I'm back down. Oh, shoot, wait a minute, I'm down again. I'm going straight to the emergency room. If I fail 3 times in a row, I'm like, I might be having a stroke or something. But this guy falls 3 times in a row, and they said the 8-mile-per-hour wind blew him down 3 times in a row.
Will fall this year, so it's super common. He's fine. The optics are bad.
Yeah, optics are real bad for you, doctor, who's overlooking this, and it's very common for older people to fall. Yeah, that foot got stuck in that pedal because he couldn't lift that leg up. Couldn't get that other foot down. There you go. But that quack doctor just got up there and said, Trump's, I'm concerned that his cadence and stuff, and he's rushing it. He's rushing it.
He got unlucky and just tripped down the sandbag.
He's at the Air Force Academy.
Now watch this. Y'all ready for some more propaganda? She's going to try to use what Trump say about creepy falling and about how you got to be careful to suggest that Trump also is suffering from falling and things like that. Listen to this.
He actually fell down? Well, I hope he wasn't hurt. I hope he wasn't hurt. But it's the whole thing is crazy. You got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about that because you don't want that. Even if you have to tiptoe down a ramp.
When he's referencing that, of course, Doctor, he's referencing himself, right? He had to walk down a ramp at West Point back in 2020. It was slippery. There was that. He had his own incidents. Doesn't he?
He had his own incidents. Now, did you see what she just did? She cut that mess off to try to make it seem as if Trump was talking about you got to be careful if you got to walk down, tiptoeing down a ramp. And cut it off for some reason. Yeah, we all know Trump's joke about when he had to walk down that ramp. But instead of her revealing the rest of what Trump, in the context in which he was saying that or about to say that, what she does is say, Trump basically confirmed it. Hey, yes, of course. I mean, I've had my own incidents. I mean, look, I had to tiptoe down. No, Trump was saying he had to tiptoe down that ramp because it was wet and it was slippery. And he knew if he would fall, the fake news would be up here like, oh, Trump's suffering from. But she tried to make it seem like he was saying that because, I'd be tripping too sometime. And I mean, I might fall too. I have my own issues and stuff. So you got to be concerned. I understand why creepy slipped and fell and whatever. See how deceptive they are? But now, we would never know that if we didn't have modern technology to debunk these people, if we weren't able to go back and watch the real take and see the whole thing and clips like that. Man, the internet, like I said the other day, is a blessing and a curse. And you think if this was in the 90s and they showed that clip of Trump, you can't go back and rewatch the whole thing. Yeah, unless you recorded it on VHS, you can't just go, well, you know what, let me go back and watch exactly what Trump said completely. They will be able to cut off stuff, edit stuff, piece it together and give you what they want you to see and hear and say, take it and eat it. And good luck. You have to go to the library or something to try to see the whole thing. But now, what do? We just go watch the whole thing and go, it's obvious you guys were putting in the wrong motive and you didn't cut it off. You cut it off so Trump would sound like he was just compassionate about creepy and relating to creepy. Yeah, I mean, I fall too. But that's a fake doctor. He's right there. There he is.
Anything about this warrant the questions that, of course, we're seeing predictably in some quarters about his fitness for office?
Nope.
No, not at all. Look, people have sort of this mistaken opinion that the president is like an astronaut and we're spinning them around in centrifuges to prove their fitness. But what we really ask for is...
You see that? No, not at all. Not at all. You act like what... these presidents, they got to be like an astronaut, and we just need their mental fitness. Well, if that's the case, you should have been concerned about creepy.
Mental sharpness and the ability to carry out the duties of his office. And I think the president has shown that.
And like Joan Shingang, I'm pronounced right. Koala.
There you
I
go.
pronounced it correctly.
There you go. That fake news thing on doctor. No, not at all. I'm not concerned. Not that. President, all he can do is his duties, mental capacity. And I'm not concerned. He's able to do that. Yes, June. And that's just one. That's just one of a plethora of Joe Biden mental decline. And this guy's talking about, not at all, not concerned at all. As long as he's in mental, I'm going, boy, I tell you, we are dealing with forces that are great. They've employed everything to try to deceive the people. We gonna bring in doctors, we'll bring in movie stars, we'll bring in fake scientists, fake economists. We got a network of fake folks that's willing to lie, to create all of these different perceptions of reality, to keep y'all in control and silence certain people and demonize a group and manipulate these people and create useful idiots. It's all types of stuff. You got to have your head on the swivel. I don't know about some of y'all, but growing up, now, football totally different now. Totally different. Right? All the kids protected, can't really hit live and stuff. We used to play this thing called Bull in the Ring. I don't know if you know anything about that, but we grew up and we had to play Bull in the Ring. They would put one kid in the middle and they create a circle around that kid. And that kid have to get his feet chopping. And the coach would call out a different number. And whoever's number he call out, that kid would run full speed and the kid in the middle have to turn and boom, hands up with him. And then call out another number. 35, he come, boom, 41, boom. And it was constant, letting these cats come at you. And if you didn't get your head around, if you didn't swivel to see who's coming at you, you're blindsided, man. Yeah, you were the bull in the ring. That's how we have to be with these dang on Democrats and the whole network of them. I mean, constantly on the roof, looking around like, all right, where's the next fake lie? Where's the next, I feel like I'm playing bull in the ring. Yeah, they don't do that no more, though. Trust me. No, someone could get hurt, and I understand. But now, we're going to close with some more propaganda. And this is what Trump was talking about. Things are going good, and people can see it. But the Democrats want to pretend that things are going bad for Trump and the Republicans, and not them. So let's close with this, guys. Let's see, what does that say? The Kennedy board votes for Trump to rename the Kennedy Center after Trump. Let's see what this is about. That ain't gonna go over well.
I am your retribution.
The so-called Kennedy Center board wants to rename the Kennedy Center after Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Like, how does that help deal with the affordability crisis in this country? These people are pathetic. They are sycophants. And these are individuals right now who are bending the knee to a loser. The Republicans are losers.
What?
Why are you bending the knee at this point in time? It's not clear to you that, as Michael Ray Richardson, the great former New York Knick, once said, the ship be sinking? It's over.
Y'all hear Hawker? It's over. Ban the ship, y'all. We done went ahead and connected our caboose to the wrong train, guys. The ship be sinking. It's over. Yeah, fake Timu Obama. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, Hawker Jeffries is telling us. It's over. Yeah, everybody hates Trump. And to rename that Kennedy Center after Trump, it's ridiculous.
This is the Titanic.
It is.
I don't get it. I really don't understand the situation.
I think you might have bigger problems right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points.
55 points? Negative? Oh. But wait a minute. It's over for the Republicans. It's over for Trump. 50, how do you even get to negative 55, guys? Boy, I tell you, man, Hawker Jeffries need to get that beam out of his eyeball. So wait, since it's over and everything, what does that mean for the Democrats then? They should already be in caskets, right? They should be buried right about now. So 55%?
Underwater, their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this, negative 61 points. That means...
Holy moly, 61 points. Could somebody go and put those numbers right in Hawker Jeffries' face? That's what I want to know. Somebody go get me some crayons and some paper so I can draw those numbers out and stick them right on Hawker's forehead so he can see them as he's talking. It's over.
That their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
Wow. And they earned every one of those negative points right there. They worked hard for their money. So hard for their money. They worked hard for that mess. With all their stupid impeachments, all of their racial division, identity politics, transgender kids, open borders, the COVID lockdowns, stupid investigations, stupid regulations, the horrible foreign policies, the constantly calling everybody and everything racist, their overreach when it comes down to abusing the government, to all of that stuff. They worked hard for it. They worked real hard. I could go on and on and on. They earned it. There it is. Yeah, you earned that F minus.
These people are pathetic.
But what about Democrats on Democrats?
Yeah, what about Democrats on Democrats?
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be a little bit better. I'm sure the Democrats actually like, well, no, actually, we're pretty okay with the Democrat Party.
So part of the reason overall is so low is independents are driving it low. But that's not the only reason it's so low. Okay. What about Democrats on Democrats? Democrats' net approval rating of congressional Democrats. I want you to keep in mind, they had never rated Democrats negatively until this year. And right now, what are we talking about? We're talking about a net approval rating from Democrats. This is Democrats on Democrats.
The Republicans are losers.
Their approval rating is actually lower.
What? Loser. Take care. Bye-bye now. Good googly moo. Now, how can you even get out there and fix your lips to talk about, Donald Trump, why they hitching their wagon to him? It's over. Trump still controls the Republican Party. He got enough pull to tank somebody's career. See what happened to Marjorie? She tapped out. Yeah, and I hope all of those other stupid folks down in Indiana who decided we're not going to redistrict, and Trump said they need to be primary. I hope they wake up and say, well, maybe we need to, because I'm going to tell you right now, the people are still behind Trump. The MAGA coalition, even though they're divided in certain areas and stupid stuff that really means nothing, when it comes down to it, we got one thing in common. Do not let these jokers ever get back in power. There's a reason why they're negative like that, okay? If we get blindsided and sidetracked by Candace Owens versus Charlie Kirk's wife and these dang on conspiracy theories and this, if we get blindsided by that stupid stuff and the Epstein files are not completely, and it's all of that mess right now pales in compared to what would happen to us if we let these folks who are in negative digits get back into power. None of that other stuff that conservatives might disagree on would even matter. We got to remain looking at the big picture, okay? Yeah, if you want those stupid things to open up the borders again, all the stupid stuff they're focusing, some of the Republicans are bickering about. If you want that mess to cause the country to have open borders again, crazy gas prices again, all of the negative stuff, horrible ran cities again, all of that stuff. If you want that because y'all want to fight over whatever, okay. But I hope the conservatives are smart enough to understand our common enemy, okay? You might say, look, man, I know me and you got differences, but we better unite against that. And so look at these negative numbers. But remember, Hawker Jeffrey said, don't hit your wagon to Trump, because it's like the Titanic.
Lower than the disapproval rating, and that is quite the drop from October. I think during the shutdown, there was a bit of a boost for Democrats, right? There was a rallying around the flag effect going on, but Democrats did not like how that shutdown turned out. They have returned against Democrats in Congress.
The great former New York Knick once said, the ship be sinking.
Like this one?
It's over. This is the Titanic.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I don't get it. I really don't understand the situation.
Let me show you.
Yeah. There it is. Oh, yeah. That's the stinking ship.
God almighty.
Oh, it's so nice to watch.
It is so nice to watch. It is beautiful to watch the Democrats sink because they suck. They're a horrible party. Absolutely horrible party with crazy folks that vote for them. We've seen their useful idiots out in the streets. We've seen their handiwork, the typical Democrat voter. You want those people running the country? Boy, I tell you, we'd be in bad shape. We'll all be on the Titanic sinking if we let them back. So right now it's just their party. But we don't want that party to turn into the country. Yeah. Tank the party, sink that party, not the whole country. That's what we all need to be focused on. Making sure when that mug go under, there's no survivors. I don't want no Democrats, Democrat politicians out there floating, talking about something out there. Bring me out there. No. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, your party must die. I ain't talking about the people. I got to clarify that. I got to dummy proof my statements. He was wishing that we all drown and die. No, I'm talking about that whole party needs to be sunk and never resurrected. Never leave it at the bottom of the ocean. It has been the source of so many problems in our country, and they continue with it. Yeah, you would think they would shut up and let us recover from all the damage that they've caused our country, but no, not them. Yeah, they want that. They encourage that because they operate, in chaos. They love that damage that they've created because it keeps people off balance, keep people, at odds with each other and focusing on all of the problems created by them and some rhinos as well. But you're more focused on all of the propaganda that they got folks chasing instead of fixing all of this stuff. They're like, why we do that? We need these little issues and stuff that we created to keep y'all focused while we go ahead and rob the piggy bank. Yeah, rob the piggy bank and throw something else out there for the puppy brains for them to go, oh, look what this is now. Now we got to fight against white supremacy. Okay, cool. I thought we was worried about, these folks coming into the country and stuff and, for our jobs and the inflation. We shouldn't be worried about that. I thought we should be more concerned about our immediate needs like crime and the guns and stuff in the inner city and the violence and stuff. We shouldn't be worried about that. We should be worried about reparations. Okay, I guess that's more important. So we should be worried about a non-lynching bill instead of our school systems that are broken. No. Okay, well, maybe we should focus on that. That's how they got folks. Hey, we should be worried about why gender-affirming care should be allowed for children instead of focusing on the health issues that could come after that, the moral issues involved in that. We shouldn't be focused. We should be focused on the gender. Okay. We should be focused on getting Killer Garcia back into the country, who shouldn't have been here in the first place and who is absolutely a criminal. We should be focused on that instead of all of the Americans killed by folks like Killer Garcia. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. See, that's what they want. So we can never let it happen. By the way, thank you for the super chat donation. I appreciate everything that you guys do. Thanks for kicking with me on this Saturday. Who knows how I feel? I might jump up here tomorrow, drop something out there. But you got to have your notifications on. So hopefully you'll get a shot at getting a notification. Who knows? So it might be tough. You might get one, but you might not. So you got to check back with the channel. Please subscribe. Make sure that you turn your notification buttons on to all. Follow me on all the other social media platforms, please. And if you want to donate to the channel, you can do it through my Cash App, my PayPal link. The links are below the video. And like I said, subscribe to Stop and Think About It. Thanks, Don, for moderating, Eagle Eye, all of those that watch my channel consistently. Thank you so much. Continue to spread the word, support the channel, because YouTube definitely are not trying to help me grow. But it is what it is, and I'll continue doing what I do until I can't do it no more. All right. So God bless y'all. God bless America. See you next time in Kevin's Corner. Let's get out of here. This is awesome. Jazz snap. Tear up the place, yeah.